Double biceps, it isn't the contract or legal requirement every single time we appear on camera. The man to my left, but to your right, depending on what sort of screen you are looking at, it is none other than the co-host, the co-founder, the co-breather of air, the co-wearer of clothes in this virtual room. It is the the king of Sting. You're putting me off with those. it's the king of Sting. It is the Count of Monte Cristo. It is Thunderlips, the ultimate male. It is none other than your friend and mine. It is the winner of the Dave Stockbridge of the Year award, the illustrious award held by the illustrious man with the illustrious beard. It is none other than Dave Stockbridge. Welcome to Arm Wrestling Tonight.
Well, thank you for that very warm introduction. As always, Hollywood Matt Connelly, it's a pleasure to join you here on Arm Wrestling Tonight. This is your only 5-night-a-week, half-an-hour dose of arm wrestling. And tonight, we're bringing to you a young man that comes out of the Sunshine State here in Australia. He created waves just a couple of years ago, entering into the international scene. He's a multiple national champion, a multiple state title holder as well. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Jamie Barrett.
Hello, everyone.
Your hair looks different now, Jamie, compared to last time I saw you. You had some sort of crazy mullet thing going on.
Yes, mullet's gone now.
There we go.
And every mulleted man's fear, of course, is that once the mullet is gone, he is weaker. And so how have things been on the table since the mullet's gone? Has there been a noticeable decline in overall strength?
Yes, about 10% weaker.
10% weaker, yes. Yeah, the science suggests it's between that 10 and 12% range. So
it's the back pressure. You're missing that extra weight, that counterbalance for your back pressure.
I could feel the wind.
When you got it cut though for the first time, when you washed your hair for the first time, did you use too much shampoo accidentally?
Probably too much of everything. It was just too hard to maintain. It would just go, when I'm at work, the mullet would go on my mouth, and it would just, because all day at work I'm bent over, so the mullet's just going on my mouth, so I got to take it out of my mouth all day.
People don't realise the price you pay when you do have a mullet. They think they think it's all just partying, fun, but no, there's a serious downside to the world of wearing a mullet that a lot of people aren't aware of. Now we're in 2025 all of a sudden, Jamie, and it's been a big last couple of years for you, both here in Australia and internationally. So tell us a little bit about what you've got planned for 2025.
My plans this year, I want to go to WAF World Championships.
Yeah.
In Bulgaria. I believe it's in September.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe August. But I definitely want to show up at WAF this year. Maybe make another appearance in America. There was an Asian World Championship, I believe, on as well. That got me a bit curious. But yes, I think there are some big events coming up this year that might catch my eye and convince me.
So chasing gold all the way around the world, by the sounds of things.
Yes.
And of course, you did have a setback 12, 18 months ago, and it's been a process of recovery, but you've seemingly returned to some form.
Yes, I would say 18 months ago, I was in my best form, better form than I am in now. I've had a couple surgeries. I've had 2 surgeries on my foot, had a patellar tendon repair on my knee, had a tendon repair on my index finger, and a couple of facial features. But yes, I'm fully recovered now. And this year I want to make it a big year, and I want to get even better than I was in that form.
So, whilst you're coming back from all of that, what were some of the first steps you were able to make in terms of coming back to arm wrestling? Of course, you've got to get yourself right, both physically and mentally, to the point where you can get yourself to the table. But were you doing like any little exercises at home, or keeping the wrist strong, or getting onto the grippers, or doing any of that type of stuff whilst you weren't able to necessarily be as active and in the gym as you'd like?
Yeah, so I was definitely doing a lot of gripper workouts and a lot of Devon lifts just with the martial arts belt, riser, pronation. Um, I was missing out on the table time, and I lost a bit of conditioning, but I believe I'm back to that now.
Right.
Yes.
Did
Um,
you lose a lot of weight during that time?
yeah, I believe I was 76 kilos before the accident, and then afterwards I got down to 68.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow, and was that just through that? That is just kind of atrophying, not being able to get in the gym and get it, remain as active. Is that pretty much it, or was it just diet or combination of all of those things?
Yeah, I lost a lot of weight, and I was kind of in a dark headspace at the time. Lost a lot of muscle because my legs were heavily affected. I definitely lost more than half the size of my legs, so that
Right.
probably contributed to a lot of the weight.
Yeah.
Uh, yes, and just lost overall gains, but we are back now.
Yeah, wow. I mean, it's a hard thing to encounter because your star was certainly rising. You'd appeared on a Monster Factory. You'd been developing this reputation amongst international circles, and like I say, you felt like you're at your strongest, and you felt like your trajectory is there. You have this setback, and in coming back from that now, and now feeling like you're coming into some form, feeling like you're getting closer and closer to your full strength capability again. When you reflect upon all of that, what do you think makes you a better arm wrestler now than what you might be or might have been, say, 12 or 18 months ago if this hadn't happened?
I think it gives me the edge with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Personally, I think because of all the struggle and pain I went through, not many people have been through that, and I'm able to translate that to the table. I'm able to relive those moments and bring that to the table because that's how I arm wrestle. Um, I like to relive memories and put it all into that person in front of me.
So this is a little bit like Hollywood Matt Connelly trains in the gym. Isn't it? It's very, very similar. And
It
I think we've
is.
had similar discussions with Madaya Rangi around this matter as well. For the audience, when you're setting up in this situation, as you are here with SK, what's running through your mind isn't necessarily much else other than that emotional, like finding the perfect moment to release that negative emotional energy through your hand and wrist.
Yes, I actually personally prepare my mind 2 weeks before my competition or super match. I put myself in a very negative headspace. Um, but afterwards it becomes very positive because I let everything out on the table. And I think I really believe it makes me almost 50% stronger if I prepared my mind for that day. Um, yeah.
Would you agree, Matt? Is that because we've spoken about this before, and this is you do or have done maybe up until very, very recently conjured up thoughts and images or memories that maybe come from a dark place or a negative place, but then you're able to you kind of release it in a good way in terms of being able to make the most of that energy to get the most out of that rep or that movement or that exercise and bring another layer of intensity to it that you wouldn't otherwise be able to.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I mean, for me, it's always been that I've done it in the gym. I've tried utilizing it in arm wrestling, but it's just different because it's like another person that I'm now conjuring up horrible thoughts towards, and I don't like that. Especially if I win, I feel really guilty that I thought about killing that person hundreds of different ways. Do you know what I mean? Like that's extreme. Like that's how extreme the aggression gets. So and I don't want to do that. Like I want to enjoy having a match with somebody and not have to be thinking about horrendous situations and stuff. So I'll save that for the gym.
Because I don't get motivated in that same way. And can I ask, I can understand if you can get yourself worked into that and you live in that negative emotional state by the sounds of things, Jamie, for like some time before you match, and then you're in that highly emotionally charged moment where you're competing with another human being who's maybe just as strong or stronger than you, and you just never quite know until the end of the match. What obviously when you win, there's that euphoria and that sense of like overcoming the almost insurmountable. But what happens when you lose?
It gives me more fire, more fuel to the fire.
Yeah.
This is something I translate with my gym workouts as well. Just like Matt, in the gym, it allows me to get stronger a lot quicker. But as of late, it really hasn't been working. So I've actually been trying a different approach, a spiritual approach. I like to do a prayer because sometimes I try to put myself in this terrible mind space, and it hasn't been working. And I'm definitely not as emotional or angry as I used to be since my accident.
Yeah.
So now I've actually become quite spiritual, and I like to do a prayer instead. And it's like I get goosebumps down my whole body, and I just feel like I have to beat this person, because I'm really trying to reach the highest level I can, and I believe I'm more driven than a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. So what came first for you then? Was it that you just had this feeling now that that motivation from that dark place isn't really doing it for you anymore, so I'll look for something else? Or was it the other way around, where that something else, where God's spoken to you or calmed your soul and is kind of now trying to find other ways in order to bring about that winner's energy, but without having to go into that dark place?
Yeah, if you use the same strategy every single time, especially an angry, almost psychotic approach, it's not going to work every single time. It's just not. There's going to be days where you're just having an amazing day, and you just can't put yourself in that state.
Yeah.
So before that time, before my accident, I didn't believe in God. And Ryan Bowen introduced me to the Bible and God itself. And now I'm a big believer in the Bible. And this approach, I feel, it helps me every time now. I still use this other approach every now and then, especially for someone that's on the screen.
We can all reserve that little piece of ourselves for Josh Barker, can't we?
Yes.
He does it deliberately, though.
No. In the most affectionate of ways, but yeah.
But I believe Josh and I are having a bit of banter, and I believe it could just be in my head, but I think we both don't like each other at the moment, and that's definitely someone I would use that approach with. Love you, Josh.
And is there a super match on the horizon with Josh, do you feel, or is that something that's got to wait for towards the end of the year, do you think?
Yeah, Josh has been messaging me a fair bit since his ban. Mm-hmm. I personally didn't want to take the risk of getting myself banned.
Yeah.
But I know his ban finishes in April, I think. And I definitely want that match this year.
Mm.
I think
Wow.
it's unfair to Josh if I don't give him a match, especially him claiming he's the best in the country or Oceania, and I claim the same title. He just hasn't been able to prove himself in the past 3 years.
Mm. Well, this sounds like a promoter's dream, Hollywood Matt Connelly. Two of the best at 75 kilos coming together across an AWE table sounds like something that arm wrestling fans around the world will be salivating over, surely.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I'd love to see it. Both Josh and Jamie, both fantastic representatives of arm wrestling, especially from Australia. And yeah, great to see Jamie go through a US tour and have success as well. And, really start to put your name on the map internationally. So, yeah, it was an incredible thing to see.
Yes.
It truly is, and also that you do have a plan where you are seeking the I guess the official recognition within the sport as well. It's one thing to have a bit of back and forth with some locals, but you've really elevated your sights now to an international stage and looking to compete against the best in the various WAF regions in order to really stake your claim there and say, well, you know what, internationally, under WAF, the most recognised in the world, this is where I am. I'm going to stake my claim, and I think that's admirable, mate, that you've taken that view to head across the world of your own volition as well. It's people don't realise there's unlike in some countries, there's no scholarships or real support for athletes like yourself that choose to take that road. It's much easier when a promoter's paying for your flights and bringing you over from Australia, because there's a long way to go. So to
100%.
pay your own way to come from Australia to go to any of these countries is a huge financial impost, and on top of that, the time, because the time that it takes you to get there, and it's just not worth going for a day or overnight or a day or two. You really, if you're there, you're probably there for a few days, because if you're going to compete against the best in the world, you've got to spend a day or two to get acclimatized, get used to where you are, know where you're staying, make sure you're getting good sleep and hydrated, you're all ready to go and prepared for taking on the best in the world. And you can't just do that by flying in and flying out and doing yourself justice that way. So it's very hard for Australian arm wrestlers in particular to make that journey. Have you got sponsors on board, or how are you looking to get support for this so that you can continue to represent Australia around the world?
With my recent America trip, that was funded from a raffle I did the year beforehand, and a lot of people have been helping me with my flights, and I just sort out my own accommodation. Or I'm, able to find someone I'm able to stay with. Arm wrestlers are very nice people, and a lot of arm wrestlers just welcome you into their home without even meeting you. And you could be a really bad person or steal their stuff, and they just trust you straight away because you're a part of arm wrestling. or
It's kind of
their
amazing. The community really does support its own.
Yeah.
It's certainly what Matt found in India.
Yes, stole lots of things from many people in India. No, no, it was great. I mean, I've had that same experience. Just looking at some of the highlights here, you and Dallas Langston here over in America, but yeah, the community around the world has just been so giving, so friendly, so welcoming. Regardless as to where it is, whether it's in Ireland or whether it's in India or America or anywhere, it's the same thing. Everyone wants to jump on with you and get on the table or just talk to you or be friendly or be nice. And yeah, it's such an amazing thing to experience.
It's like one big family, I've met some amazing people through my trips. Some of my favorite people today. Someone like Harold Ryden, who I've been staying with in my USA trips. He's an ex world champion, and he's the best guy I've ever met, for sure.
Wow.
he's had matches with Cobra Rhodes and stuff before. But yeah, not many people know who he is, but he's a great guy. And without those people, I wouldn't have the recognition I have today.
So, mate, you're a young man. What have been the career highlights so far?
Career highlights: beating Vosgen Sohoygen, 3-time WAF world champion. He's a bit older now, and I'm aware of that. But being able to, I lost to him in the finals when I was 16, and then, I went back over for the same event last year, and I was able to pull off the win. And I could see that really hurt Vosgen's. I don't want to disrespect him, but I'm going to say ego. Yeah, I think he's definitely one of the highly respected people I've beaten. And then, I've beaten Germany's #1 guy, Kevin Barrett, I think his last name is, #1 in Germany. And then, I think my favorite guy that I've gotten a stop on was the Georgian world champion in Turkey. I recently watched him do an after pool video with Daniel Ustinov, the current East vs West world champion. And I would probably put that Georgian guy as the favorite, to be honest.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you can see here the win you've got over a 3-time WAF world champion, Vazgen Sorgan. And he rolled through him too. I mean, it was pretty comfortable. How are you feeling? Like, so this is the finals, is it? Or is this still part of the tournament?
So that was earlier in the tournament. And,
Yep.
there's a backstory to this. A couple of days beforehand, I actually went to Mendy's gym in LA. And I was gripping up with Vosgen the whole time. And I wasn't giving him anything. And he was just destroying me. And he thought I was really trying. Because Harold told me to not show him anything. And then I got up here on the day, and he's like, "What do you want? You want ref grip? You want strap?" And I said, "Strap, ref grip." I got exactly what I wanted, and I got the perfect strap, and he didn't expect it one bit.
So right here, you're about to get the start. You've got the exact setup that you want. Tim Talmadge is refereeing as well there. And let's have a look how it plays out. Right there, you've gone with the back pressure, contained his hit. You've kept pronation. You've rolled straight over the top of him.
He's thinking, what just happened? How did that happen?
His face there, he's just like, hang on a second. That wasn't supposed to happen.
I got psyched out by this kid.
Thanks to Dallas Langston and Jamie Sheldon, they told me how to beat Vosgen, and I did exactly what they told me, and it worked.
Wow. Great guys to have in your corner.
Yes.
And you've really met everybody, pretty much, all the big names in the sport now. They've all got a soft spot in their heart for you.
Yeah. Yes, I've almost met everyone.
Been adopted by the world of arm wrestling. That's well and truly the case.
Yeah. When I was in Turkey, I got to meet, people I've looked up to, because I got introduced to professional arm wrestling on YouTube when I was 12, and that was before I hit a table or anything. And now I'm 19, and one of the first people I watched was Frodo Horglund and Devin Larratt, and I finally got to meet Devin Larratt in Turkey, and there's a really funny story. I'm not sure if I'm comfortable telling it, but I did something extremely embarrassing next to Devin, and so it was just really cool to meet those guys. And I had Bozidar Simonov steal my trophy, and I had to go pick it up the next day.
He took yours by accident, did he?
I left it downstairs because I was too drunk. Bozidar picked it up. So.
That's nice of him. There's this random trophy sitting here. Did it have your name on it? How did you know it was yours?
I think he saw me leave it there, and then I had to go to his room the next day, and he was staying with Sasha Andreev, so I got to talk to them for a little bit. Sasho's like a really angry bulldog. He doesn't talk much. He just you can see the angry look on his face. Yeah.
Well, he wasn't the friendliest guy.
So,
Yeah.
Hollywood Matt Connelly, we're getting to the 25-minute mark. Should we turn our attention to the comments?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so we've got French McGee, a siren, the singing arm wrestler. She likes to be known. She doesn't sing while she's arm wrestling, but she is a professional singer as well. So, yeah, she's jumped in here. We've got Lucky Wood from the what's the name of the chat? Oh, there we go. This is the Lucky Ones podcast. Fantastic. She does that on Saturday nights over in the US, looking to promote female arm wrestling. Does a fantastic job there. Has also lost a whole bunch of weight recently as well. She's looking tremendous. So She's doing really, really well.
That's great.
She says, what a comeback for you, Jamie. She was very impressed when we were showing your highlights there. And Jacob Tuxworth has jumped in and said, legends. Jacob is one of those men who may have filled your spot while you've been recovering. He's definitely stepping up in terms of his national ability and doing quite well at the Nationals most recently.
He's one of those guys who wants to match with me. Again, I have the last super match win on him, and I think I won the one before that as well. I think he wants another shot, but that will happen sometime this year.
Well, you heard it here, Jacob.
There you go. You heard it here first. It's an exclusive.
That's right. And Arm Gods, which may be Paul Maiden right at this, it may not. But it says Jave looks jacked, and he's got the Arm Gods thing from the 300 Spartans. And there we go. The Arm Gods. Looking forward. Yes, Arm Gods has a huge event happening 21st of March over in the United States. Winter Blast is the tournament they have hooked up with. They're doing on the Friday night. It is the US versus the UK. So it's Winter Blast versus Arm Gods. And it's all the top guys from the UK taking on a lot of the top guys from the US. It's going to be absolutely enormous. The next day is Winter Blast with a huge tournament, probably the biggest tournament in the North American region. Last year they had about 700 entrants. Wow. So yeah, they're looking to try to beat that this year.
Wow, let's hope they can crack 1,000. Wouldn't that be something?
Absolutely, yeah, for sure.
I think I saw Travis Bagent talking about that on a podcast.
Yeah, it's going to be big. Yeah, 21st is the Friday night. That's the night where Arm Gods will be in. And then Saturday, which is the 22nd, is when the tournament is at the Valley Forge Casino Resort in Philadelphia.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
So, Jamie, before we go away, mate, what matches are you looking forward to that you've seen penciled in, that you've seen promoted, that have got your attention in the next few weeks or the next couple of months?
There is one not allowed to mention, but it involves Valen Lowe.
Oh yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I want to match with him sometime soon.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, that 75 kilo weight division. Just seeing where Hunter Knopfs is at as well. I did want that match for a while. I don't know if he's got on some of the sauce since, but just people in my weight category. And obviously the East vs West event coming up with Devon and Gennady. That's going to be really good for me. And Michael Todd versus Hermes.
Who do you think's going to win that? I was asking everyone at training last night. Michael Todd or Hermes Gasparini? What's your pick?
Hermes has got to be the favorite. He's bigger than last time they versed. He's he's got the tools there to beat Michael, but Michael is in his looks like best form ever.
Mm-hmm.
And if Michael maintains his riser, I think he's going to get Hermes.
So who did you actually pick then? Because you said good things about both of them.
Yeah. I want Michael to win, but I'm going to say Hermes.
Okay.
All
That's fair
right.
enough.
How are you calling it, Matt?
I've got the same. Yeah, exactly the same. I think Hermes is going to be too much for Michael, but I would actually really like to see Michael get the win because I really want to see how he would go against Levan because the winner will get Levan. And I just want that question answered. Like, how would Levan handle the King's move?
Yeah. Well, I think that's a trifecta. I just like Michael Todd more. So, and I really like him to come on the podcast as well. So, we'll leave it there. Well, thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us on the podcast. Hollywood Matt Connelly. Final thoughts before we head away.
Yeah, always great to see Jamie, and so good to see that you're on the comeback trail. And I'm sure 2025 is going to be a big year for you to get back on the scene. And we'll hopefully see you with some international matches coming up very shortly.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, it's been a real pleasure having you, Jamie, and thank you very much for joining us on the podcast. And to all of those people in the comments, as always, we love you and we thank you for tuning in. We can't wait to bring you tomorrow night's episode where we're bringing you, Steph Sarah from Tahitian Arm Wrestling. So we're going to find out what's going on. If you don't know where Tahiti is at the moment, what I want you to do is just type it into your phone right now. Head over to Tahiti. You'll see it's about as close to Australia as it is to Peru. So it's like right there in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. They're only 3 hours, 3.5 hours time difference to us here, but they're another day away. They're the previous day. So this is going to be a fantastic opportunity to catch up on what's going on in the world of French Polynesian arm wrestling, and they're going to share with us a little bit more about what's going on in the Pacific more generally, as there's big things to be announced in the coming months. But Jamie, once again, thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me tonight. It's been a pleasure. I'm sure we'll talk again soon.